Hi, this is David Ruben. Thank you for visiting my website. Today what I'm going to talk about to hopefully give you some information that you can use whether you represent yourself in a divorce case or whether you hire an attorney like me or another attorney to help you out in your divorce case. Hopefully this information can help you along. In Maryland, what we have is something called the DCM for every divorce case in every county. In Maryland, we have what's called circuit courts, one in every county, and that's where divorce cases are filed. And each court has what's called the DCM, Differentiated Case Management. And that is a system that's set up by each court to really administer the divorce cases and process them from the initial pleading, which is called a complaint, to finally getting it to a judge. For the most part, every county in Maryland has the same or similar process that we use, and I'm going to go over that with you. That said, every single county also has some tiny nuances that are a little bit different, and the attorney that you have to represent you should be familiar with that county, and if not, and if you're representing yourself, you just call the county clerks and you ask them. But this is how it works in at least the major 5 counties in Maryland, which is Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Howard County, Anne Arundel County, Baltimore County, and then Baltimore City. But even the smaller counties, such as Carroll County and Frederick County, Charles County, Calvert County, St. Mary's County, and the counties on the other side of the bridge and up north towards Cecil County and Harford County, they all do things pretty much the same. This is how it works. Initially, somebody's going to file what's called a complaint for absolute divorce. It's filing initial papers to start the process. The other party's going to get served, they're going to file an answer, and then the case is, let's say it's going to be contested. So what happens next? And that's what I'm talking about. In all of these counties, the first thing they do is they set up what's called a scheduling conference. So people say, what is a scheduling conference? What do I need to do for a scheduling conference? Do I need to bring my witnesses? Do I need to prepare? Do we need to talk about it? And the answer typically is no. A scheduling conference is the court setting it in before, in most counties, what we call a magistrate, some a judge, to schedule future hearings. So if you have an attorney, you go in with your attorney, both parties do at the same time. If you don't have an attorney, you go in by yourself. And there's someone there that says to you, hey, what are the issues here? And how are we going to schedule this case? And what services can you utilize, can we give to you to best help you move this case along? Because that's really what the court is there to do. It's to help people move the case along to get to a place where the court is there to resolve their problems. So you first go to a scheduling conference, and if you're in need of an immediate hearing for custody or child support or alimony or something like that, you ask the court to set it in for a hearing. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on the situation. If there's going to be mediation, and in most counties they require mediation for custody cases, they're going to provide you who the mediator is going to be, or you can choose the mediator, and they're going to give you paperwork to set up mediation. They're going to give what's called a discovery deadline. There's a whole other video on this website that talks about discovery, but they're going to say, okay, you all are going to do your discovery, let's say within 90 days. And so they're going to set up all these things for you, and then they're going to set in what's called a settlement conference, which is different than a scheduling conference. What the purpose of that is, and this is how all the DCM programs work in Maryland, you go to your scheduling conference. The goal is to help you settle the case. You exchange documentation, you go to mediation, hopefully the lawyers are talking to each other, trying to resolve the issues without having a judge decide. If you can't do that, however, after the discovery deadline, there'll be a settlement conference. That's when you and your lawyer and your spouse and his or her lawyer are going to go back and you're going to talk usually to a retired judge who's going to look at everything, talk to both of you and say, look, guys, this is what's likely going to happen when you go to court. These are what the issues are, and I'm a judge, and I've been doing this for 40 years, and in my experience, this is what I think you guys should talk about and try to reach a compromise. Now, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't work, but that's the process of what happens at a settlement conference. And if you arrive at a settlement conference and you can resolve all your issues, boom, the judge will give you a divorce that day. If you arrive at a settlement conference and you're not able to resolve all your issues, the judge will then say, okay, have you all done your discovery? Have you all done your mediation? Have you done everything you possibly can to resolve this case? And if the answer is yes, the judge is going to say, okay, how long is your trial going to take? Is it going to be a 1-day trial, a 2-day trial? What are the issues? How many witnesses are you going to have? Very good. Go over to assignment, get yourself a trial date, and you guys can have a judge decide. That's what you do. You go over to assignment. If you want a 3-day trial, you might get a trial 6 months later, 4 months later, depending on the county, depending on how busy the docket is. But that's what's going to happen. And then you're going to have your trial date. Again, you're going to continue to try to resolve the issues with the other attorney. But if you can't, ultimately, you will get a trial in front of a judge. And that is when you bring your witnesses. That is when you and your lawyer, for weeks beforehand, prepare everything you need to prepare. And of course, that is what makes this process really expensive, which is, of course, what you're trying not to do. Nonetheless, every day, most judges in the state are trying cases. They're resolving family issues that people can't resolve on their own. And that's what the court system's about. And so that's how our DCM program works. Nobody's ever happy with it, but nobody's ever come up with a solution that's better than what we have right now. The courts are always trying to tweak it to make it better and easier for the clients, for the litigants, as you would call it, and for the lawyers to move along the system and get a fair result for everybody involved. And that's how it works. If you have any questions about this system, if you are looking for a lawyer to represent you, if you're looking for a free consultation, give us a call, shoot us an email. We're always here to help.